Net proceeds from our show, Sports Medicine Weekly, go to support orthopedic research at Rush through the liveactivenow.org fund. Our producer is Shane Reardon. Our coordinating producer is Tracy Taro. I'm Steve Cashel with Dr. Brian Cole. It is Sports Medicine Weekly. You can access prior shows, interviews, and valuable resources on sports injury and fitness. Please visit our blog at smwhome.net or the website sportsmedicineweekly.com. Time now for one of our staples of the show. It is the Ask the Doctor segment here on Sports Medicine Weekly, giving our listeners the opportunity to have Dr. Cole address their specific sports injury issues. Very easy to get involved. Just go to our website, sportsmedicineweekly.com, click on the homepage, and also you will see the picture of Dr. Cole and yours truly on the right side of that homepage. Click on the link, and you can ask your question. Dr. Cole, you ready? Question number one, I have not worked out in a long time and want to get back in the gym. How can I return to working out safely?
Steve, this is a true case of use it or lose it, right? So you lose your cardio capacity pretty quickly. Within 2 to 3 weeks, you can almost get to not rock bottom, but pretty darn close. So especially with cardio, you lose it fast. Resistive training, you lose it relatively fast. The good news is when you get back to it, for example, if you're in a strength and conditioning program, your muscles have lots of muscle memory. So I know you're on a reasonably regular program, and you probably remember when you get back to it, if you've been off for a while, you still can do it well. But one of the challenges is you're at high risk of getting what we call DOMS, which is delayed onset muscle soreness. It's not a catastrophic thing, not a huge problem, but it has to do with protein breakdown and muscle breakdown and soft tissue breakdown that takes a little bit longer to recover. So you kind of got to grab it back in bits and pieces and do it in a really responsible way. So there's lots of things you can do. I think, there's some, concepts really just very specific. Take a realistic time-specific approach. Doesn't mean you have to go from 0 to 100. You take very, very small baby steps, make it progressive. It can be in sequence where you do things, and if you have one exercise that you can do in a very hard way, you can back down and do some simple, non-complex exercises and kind of ease back into it. And same thing, for running, for example, if you're trying to get back into cardio, you're not going to go out and do, 6 miles when you haven't run in some time. So it's one of these progressive first your pants, then your shoes, we say, right? Easing back into it, and just be prepared. You may need more time for warming up. You may need more time for warming down. You may need time for stretching and so forth. Recovery becomes really important when you're getting back into a program when you've been out of it for some time. That's whether or not you're trying to get your cardio back or you're trying to get your strength and conditioning back.
People ask me, geez, I got to get to the gym. How can I get back there? You know what? Go for 20 minutes. Do something, right?
You're never going to be worse after exercise than before in that capacity, right? Yep. So that's one of the challenges.
20 minutes leads to 30 minutes to 40 minutes the third time, right?
Right. That's one of the challenges. People say, well, I just don't have the time I want to get back into the gym. It's okay to start slow. Even if you say, if you're used to these 3 times a week intense exercise for 60 to 90 minutes, one of the recommendations, if you start out at 20 minutes, that's something. And it also gives you the feedback loop that you can actually do this again. You're like, you know what? I can't wait to get back in, and I'm going to do it for a half hour, 45 minutes the next time.
Exactly.
So take it slow, but stay at it and keep the frequency up.
All right, question number 2 in our Ask the Doctor segment. Dr. Cole, what are some exercises I can do to help alleviate lower back pain? We see it so often.
Yeah, some of the basic exercises that one can do, and these are things that you can easily find on the internet. One would be bridges. So that works your glute max muscles, and you can do that just on a mat. You can do it with a ball under your heels. So bridges are really important. Another one is knee to chest stretches, where you're lying on your back. You push your lower back to the back of the floor. So it's really important to reverse what we call lordosis, where you have that arch in your lower back. Use your abdominal muscles to exert enough force to flatten your back against the floor, and then knee to chest stretches. The other one is low back rotational stretches, where you're sort of on your back. Your knees can be flipped from one side to the other, and you're rotating your legs from one side to the other. There's another one called draw-in maneuvers, very helpful. Pelvic tilts or dead bugs, where you take your pelvis and you're actually reversing that position of your pelvis. If it's sitting sort of upright, you can reverse it by pressing your back to the floor and reversing your pelvis. So that's called pelvic tilts. Lateral leg lifts are also lying lateral leg lifts, particularly helpful. Cat stretches, when you're on all fours and sort of mobilizing all your vertebral spinal muscles. There's a great one that I started doing even with my trainer called Superman's, where you're lying on your stomach.
Okay.
and you're basically extending your back, putting your arms up and your legs up behind you. So you're basically resting on your belly. Can you picture that?
Yep.
So a Superman, like Superman, right? And then there's a progression of that where you can actually take a bar or a foam roller or something, and with your hands that are in front of you while you're sort of in that Superman position, use that to pull the foam roller behind your head. So you retract your arms and you bring it behind your head.
Good for the back, absolutely.
And really good for the back. That's an awesome one. So those are some of the basic ones you can do. Again, a lot of the problems with the low back or with back pain is that you have abdominal overload, carrying excess weight. All the forces are in the frontal plane, and you got to strengthen everything in the posterior chain. The things are in the back, and those are some of the things that you can do to minimize that and do good rehabilitation.
All right. Many thanks to everyone for adding your questions in our Ask the Doctor segment. We do it every week here on Sports Medicine Weekly. We are out of time. Many thanks to our producer, Shane Reardon. Our coordinating producer is Tracy Tarl. Also want to thank David Cole as well as Samantha Smith for all their help with our show and the website and our business operations. For Dr. Brian Cole, I'm Steve Cashel saying so long. Thanks for listening to Sports Medicine Weekly here on The Score. Up next, Early Odds with Joe Ostrowski. Talk with you next week, everybody, only on
670, The Score.